Hi, this is Mike, editing this. So, bad news. I've somehow managed to delete episode 19 by accident. That's the only conclusion I can come to. I've looked in every folder on my computer, and I can't fucking find it. So the fact that I've lost episodes so often, I'm just gonna start recording episodes when I stream them. The only thing I was worried about is, like, I don't know, some kind of performance hit doing this at the same time. But if I want to not lose episodes, this is what I'm going to have to do moving forward. I'm just going to have to record while I'm streaming instead of just downloading the VODs after the fact. I don't know why I wasn't doing that beforehand. But yeah, episode 19 is gone. So there's a gap between this one and episode 20. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give very briefly my thoughts on the albums that we talked about. So Conley's pick was Darko by Darko US. This is, if I recall correctly, some kind of metalcore group. So it features the drummer from Ymir and the former vocalist of Lorna Shore, current vocalist of Chelsea Grin. This isn't really my style of metal per se. Was never really into this style. Closest thing to this that I'm into is maybe Cattle Decapitation. Never really into the grindcore type of stuff. I didn't think this was bad, just not my style. Hopefully I remember what this sounds like because I don't feel like going back to refresh myself. My pick was Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. This is the shoegaze album that everyone likes. The guitarist for this band plays his guitar by manipulating his whammy bar while he's strumming, so it has some interesting effects. This is pretty chill, I think, but I have to be in the mood for it, I think. It's good. Check it out, for sure. Steven's pick was some kind of J-rap thing. Rock the World by Homemade, and then I don't know the last bit. It's in kanji. I did not like this very much. I thought it was kind of meh. The stock MIDI sounds on the first track I thought were hilarious, and overall it was just kind of mediocre, kind of meh. Wasn't really that into it. So yeah, that's the albums that were in episode 19. I'm a fucking forehead. I can't find the episode, so it won't be uploaded. I can't be bothered to fucking renumber the episodes because that wouldn't make any sense. So just really quickly giving you my thoughts on everything here and explaining the gap in the episodes. So yeah, episode 19 is missing because I lost it somehow. Moving forward, I'm just going to record things while I stream so that this doesn't happen anymore. Anyway, on to the episode. All right. Hello. Something's not right here. I'm just not quite sure what. I'll figure it out eventually. Anyway, Cringe Crew Music Podcast is here for some reason. So albums for the week are ABBA's Gold, To Be Kind by Swans, and Underneath by Code Orange. So I guess we'll talk about the Swans one first. This one was a long time coming. Just because I felt that I needed to give everyone the proper Swans experience. I gave you guys Diet Swans a while back, but it was time. It was time to give you the full 2-hour Swans experience, and To Be Kind is probably the best option you had. One of the fabled Fantano 10s. I feel that it's definitely worth a 10 score. This is not for everyone, I will admit. But it is a 2-hour-long album with one 30-minute track smack dab in the middle. But I know I told you guys put this on in the background because paying attention to this for 2 hours is difficult. I admit. But there are some good tracks here. We've got Oxygen, I really like the 30-minute track, oddly enough. Bring the Sun, Toussaint Louverture, Things We Do. A lot of the songs on here I like. I don't think there's anything on here I don't like. The 30-minute track is probably my favorite just because of how it evolves over time, where you've got Michael Gira screaming about the sun for the first half, and then the other half there's like horse galloping noises, and then he's saying some stuff in French, and I don't know, I like weird stuff like that. I don't know, man. But overall, I guess I should talk about some Things We Do. That track is just Michael Gira listing off a bunch of verbs. Basically, we drink, we fuck, we love, etc. And the instrumental on that track is just unnerving. And it just kind of gets worse over the rest of the song, but I think it's cool. Again, I like weird things, so maybe that's just me. And I mentioned Oxygen, that's probably one of the standouts. And of course, the opening track Screenshot is really fucking good. Again, not for everybody. I don't blame you if you hated this, Steven. I completely understand, but there are things about this album that I think are good and interesting. So if you're into more out there kind of stuff, especially in rock, maybe check this one out. Start with the singles, maybe. Don't dive headfirst into the whole thing, but it's worth checking out, I'll say.
Yeah, so, fuck this, fuck you. I hate it just as much as you. No, but in all seriousness, that's actually a decent album. I just fucking hate shit. Like, so much. I understand why people like it. I simply cannot. It is horrible. In the worst way possible. It's got all of the boxes I hate. Repetitive shit that comes out of nowhere and startles the fuck out of you. Shit that's just eerie and uncomfortable. It literally checks all of the boxes of, hey, you want some autistic dysphoria today? Here you go. This is what you get. And the real reason Mike picked this album is because he hates me. He won't admit it, but that's the reason.
I feel like I have to mention this every time I pick an album that Steven really hates. I promise I'm not doing this to torture you. I just think it's neat. I think the album's cool and I want to talk about it.
Oh, I know. I'm just giving you shit. Mike does not actually hate me as far as I know. But, album good, but me hate.
Understandable.
That's respectable.
Really quick before we move on to the next one, I just want to shout out that that the like near the end of Oxygen, where Michael Gira just starts barking like a dog. He's just going woof 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 woof, and it gets me every time, man. It's great.
As for my thoughts, Conley, definitely not a fake Conley, but the real, in fact, Conley. He said this was just awesome background music. He just doesn't expect to put it on ever again. It's
understandable.
Condensed Conley thoughts.
Makes sense, yep.
Alrighty.
I resemble that remark.
So I guess we'll do Conley's last because he's not here officially. And we'll talk about yours. I have some things to say about yours. Not bad per se, but we'll get there. Explain yourself.
So, I've been listening to a lot of early 70s and 80s shit lately. And ABBA is good, whether you agree so or not. This album's got some great hits off of it, like Super Trooper, Lay All Your Love on Me. Like, there's a lot of good stuff off this album, and I love it. It's very much a product of its time, of like a strange cross between dance, electro, and pop, and I like it all.
Okay. So first thing I want to point out, this is a greatest hits compilation album, which kind of feels like a bit of a cop-out, honestly. And given that it's a greatest hits compilation, I already knew most of these songs without even having to listen to the album. You also failed to mention that there's 2 discs to this, and I don't know any of the songs on the second disc, but we'll just say I didn't have time to listen to them, and I'll just base this off of the songs that I do know. If you've heard literally any ABBA song on the radio, I guarantee that song is on this album. I like ABBA, but I'm not going out of my way to listen to ABBA, you know what I mean? Like, if it's on, I'll groove a little, but, like, it's not my favorite, you know? Like I said, I'm not going out of my way for it or anything. It's all right. Literally, all of the hits are here. It's a greatest hits compilation. So, yeah. It's good if you like the hits, I guess, but don't expect any deep cuts, I guess. It's good if you want ABBA starting point, I guess, and you somehow haven't heard all the hits yet. So, it's good but like I said, not going out of my way for it.
Yeah, Conley said that they were a really successful pop group. They had infectious beats, lyrics, can't complain. As for Ted's thoughts, to interject on top of Conley's, like, first off, Steven, greatest hits. Come on now, buddy. But no, I mean, like, ABBA slaps. ABBA is probably, like, they're on a top 5 list somewhere of the hardest hitting bands that you don't listen to on purpose. Like, ABBA's really, really good, but not good enough to listen to not by accident. And I like just looking through the track list and, you know, seeing that they're all the hits. Like, that's exactly what you get out of this album. Like, if you're going in looking for ABBA, you're hitting the quintessential ABBA, but you know, you know what mark you're hitting when you get there.
Well, that's kind of why I picked it, because everyone knows ABBA, or everyone knows these songs by ABBA. Not a lot of people know much the other stuff. At some point, I will probably wind up picking another ABBA album, because I've been listening to ABBA a lot. Like, it's pretty much taken over my driving list.
Oof.
It also surprises me, Steven, that like sometimes your albums are, like, just to look at them without listening to anything when I'm not on the podcast, right? Like, it's very rare that you surprise me. Like, it's mostly metal albums, and every once in a while I can tell that you're angry from whatever got discussed in that episode and you pick something goofy or stupid, right? ABBA shocked the hell out of me. I never expected this to be in your arsenal.
I like ABBA. Now that I've burned through a lot of the stuff that I think people should be listening to and just probably haven't, I'm going to be picking a lot more of the stuff that I actually listen to on a daily basis regularly. So be prepared for that.
It just surprised me that it was there, that's all.
That's fair. I mean, when you go from power metal and Dimmu Borgir to ABBA, it's kind of a 180.
Yeah, it's like you follow this pattern. It's like 4 like black metal albums. One, man, they really pissed me off, so I'm gonna piss them off with some fucking Christian country group nonsense bullshit, and then right back to power metal, and now it's ABBA. Like, it just, you hit me totally out of left field.
I mean, it's just a good band.
Well, that leaves Conley's pick, Code Orange. So Conley's not here to explain himself, so I'll just read off his notes.
I could talk about it a little bit because I did listen to a bunch of Code
me
Orange.
and Ted listened to the whole thing yesterday. So
yeah, and I wasn't exactly new to them. Like, I'm probably not into them as Conley is, but they do a lot of experimental sound stuff that's still, for the most part, heavier rock. This album specifically broke down into maybe some stuff that was more like post-hardcore that was a little softer. They did some glitchy stuff, which was kind of cool. This was my first listen through to it, but I mean, honestly, I thought the album was pretty solid. Conley's notes are that it was metalcore with like an IDM or breakcore elements that scratched the ADHD part of his brain, and I think that's pretty accurate. Going through the album, there were a lot of different sounds, lots of different kinds of noise, and no 2 tracks really sounded the same. Like, everything kind of itched something a little different. So, like, if you knew what tracks you liked, what you were going in for, you could find a sound that you
were. As for my thoughts, I thought this was really cool. It was all over the place, with the heavier parts of the tracks being like super heavy and just glitched and distorted. And that was really neat. And there were like some parts where like you could compare it to maybe something that Periphery would do when it would like kind of calm down and be mellow a bit. I thought that the clean vocals it reminded me of Jake Dusick from Health. His vocals are kind of androgynous sounding, which I think is neat. But overall, yeah, this was really cool. It was kind of all over the place, but it wasn't like, it didn't seem like a jumbled mess of stuff, even if it sounded like it was. Like, it's hard to describe what I mean by that. I just thought that, you know, the glitchy stuff was really cool, and then when it would mellow out, that was done really well. Like, I'll definitely probably go back and check out the rest of these guys' stuff for sure.
Yeah, you might be surprised by my opinion on the album. I actually liked this. Pretty much for the same reason you just said. It reminds me of Periphery, which I like some of Periphery. Like Crush is good, and the first track off this kind of reminds me of Crush. But the whole album's actually pretty good. It's just an interesting mix of electronic breakcore elements, and I actually really like it. Now, it did get a little much at times, admittedly, and I had to take a break and come back and look at it once I had calmed down. But overall, good album. Why he picked this, I don't know, but it's solid.
Yeah, I think it was kind of neat that like so we listened to the album the whole way through, straight through, and there was a whole lot of like, not necessarily like clean transitions from one track to the next, but it sounded like an experience because we listened to it straight through. I think my biggest interest would be to go back and just listen to individual tracks and see if I liked them the same way as like a standalone 3 or 4 minutes rather than as one whole album full experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, that's the albums for the week. Just one thing that I wanted to mention that I'm still moderately salty about. So, Behemoth was playing in Salt Lake on Friday, and I missed it, which I'm a little upset about, admittedly. I imagine that show was really fucking rad. I've always wanted to see Behemoth. I've talked about their album, The Satanist, on the podcast before. I think that's a really, really fucking good metal album. Check it out. And yeah, I'm just salty, and I need to tell you that I'm salty. That's it. But I do have a couple of concerts that I will mention that I don't know if I'll make it to all of them, but throwing them out there. So it looks like the guys behind Meow Wolf, who have done the interactive art stuff. There's one in Vegas, Omega Mart. They've got one in Denver now, Convergent Station. They are hosting a music festival in Denver in August. But I'm only interested in the Saturday date because I don't really know any of the other artists there. It looks like Toro Imwa is playing on Friday. I believe we talked about him on the podcast.
Oh
before.
Yeah, I've talked.
Yeah, but Saturday, 100 Gex and Blade are headlining, and I'm thinking about it. So
I'm surprised. You should stay for Toro. I think you'd like him. Like, live, that's really, really good.
Maybe.
Like, Flume is one of my favorite songs.
And then if I can find the whole lineup for this, it might take me a minute to find it here. Where the fuck is it?
It's hiding.
Look, I just want the photo with the lineup.
Root?
And the website doesn't have it, and I'm mad.
Why do they not?
All right, so here we go. So, Psycho, which is I guess it's like a metal festival that happens in Vegas, happening at the brand new Resorts World Hotel, which is like the newest hotel on the Strip, which is very cool. The lineup for this is kind of nutty. We've got Mayhem, we've got Suicidal Tendencies, High on Fire, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Ghostface Killah, Carcass, At the Gates, Satyricon. A couple of members of Wu-Tang Clan are going to be there. Ulver, who we've talked about before. Dance with the Dead. Gaslamp Killer, who I feel like I might have mentioned him, but I'm not sure. He's definitely on my list of artists that I need to talk about at some point. Emperor, Liturgy, who I've definitely talked about. There's just Merciful Fate. Like, this lineup looks fucking nuts. And if the only problem with this festival is that it's happening in the middle of the week, which is weird, and also it's like $350 for all 3 days, and it's in Vegas, so good luck getting a hotel. But if I had more money, and if this was on a weekend, I'd be there 100% because this lineup is nuts.
That's fair.
But other than that, I got nothing else.
Same.
So I guess we can wrap up here. Hello everyone who's joining stream. Hello, it is me.
It's Gars.
Not Ted.
Yeah.
Something isn't right here. I can't pinpoint what it is, but I'll figure it out. But thanks for checking out podcast as usual. This is episode 20, so that is technically our season finale. So I think we're gonna take a couple of weeks break, and then we'll come back and do season 4. I haven't really decided what albums I've got for season 4. I've probably mentioned this a couple times over the course of the season, but I felt like I was running low on albums to pick, but I can probably pull something obscure out of my ass, and Steven will hate it, and it'll all be good.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of ammunition still, and now I actually get into stuff that I think the vast majority of people are going to be very confused why.
Yep. So, yeah, I think we'll wrap up here. Since me and Ted are in the same room, obviously expect a vlog very soon.
True.
We're kind of scuffed on getting footage for that, but we're doing our best, so we'll definitely come up with something.
It might be a mini vlog, but there's gonna be something. God damn it!
And if need be, we'll record some explanations of stuff that maybe we didn't get enough footage of, or that we didn't get footage of at all. But we'll do our best to explain what we did and show what footage we do have. So expect that soon.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. I guess we're gonna go do some hood rat shit.
Always.
Alright.
I'll catch y'all later.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.